to What She Said Sports. You see, I got on my Colorado jackets. All right, gather round, gather round, gather round. So we getting ready to talk about the latest buzz for What She Said Sports. Now, we got Colorado on deck, but of course we also have Shedeur Sanders, and I'm saving it to last. And in addition to that, just a quick news update about an hour ago. It was announced that Max Crosby has been traded officially from the Raiders to the Baltimore Ravens, to which a cryptic post from Lamar Jackson showing the meme of Denzel Washington from the movie Training Day, boom. So people thought the boom was about Lamar Jackson's extension, but I think it's about Max Crosby coming to Baltimore. So shout out to Max Crosby. Y'all know he wanted out of Vegas. He got his way and he wanted to go to a contender, and he's in Baltimore. Now, what it says to me for Max Crosby to go to the Ravens must be serious this year. The Ravens must be serious this year to bring Max Crosby in. So let's hope this is the year that the league allows Lamar to go past the Steelers, go past the AFC Championship all the way to the Super Bowl. Let's hope. Let's see. And if it does, it tells you that Harbaugh and company was a part of the problem. All right, so we shall see. Shout out to Max Crosby, and we'll be watching the Ravens. Y'all know we'll be watching the Ravens because of LeJohntay. Speaking of LeJohntay, he's been posting his own content, and it's up. Go check it out on his page under his name, LeJohntay Weston, the chosen one. Go check that out. All right. Before we get to the Browns, let me get to the Buffs. All right. So Colorado announced that they will not have a special teams coordinator this year. That's a little different. Coach Prime talked about it, but that's what it's going to be. We talked about how Coach, the one that came from Jackson State that I really like, they got married last year. He left and went to Southern University, I believe, with the running back coach. So was he the last person from Jackson State? Are all the coaches from Jackson State gone? It kind of seems like it. If so, there might be one around there. Maybe Coach Gunnar White of the O-line. Other than that, I think all of the Jackson State coaches are gone. All of the NFL coaches? No. The coach from the wide receiver coach, he was from the NFL too. But he was at Jackson State. So it's still a few people around. And speaking of the coach, Jason Phillips from Jackson State, I think, or from the NFL, I think he played with Coach Prime. I heard him on camera today telling the wide receivers, he was giving them instruction, and he was telling JoJo, don't be begging for the ball. Just execute. I was like, what? So JoJo was mouthing, gimme. Like, I guess JoJo be out there, give me the ball. He like, look, don't be doing all that. Don't be begging for the ball. Just execute. So, he's staying on them. And honestly, the Buffs are hyped. They real hype. Now, their tickets for the spring game for the first time since Coach Prime arrived are free. Absolutely free. I think the date is April 11th. Double check it. But I think that's what it is, which means today was the first day of pads, and they were getting after it. The Buffs are hype. I love what I'm seeing, the camaraderie. I don't mind the tussling. That's football, right? And I think some more tussling happened today, right? So we got a little clip to check out. But let's start with Coach Prime instructing the players, how to move. Let's check it out. Oh, that's not it. God damn it. That's my secret. That's my secret. This might be Coach Prime right here. Let's see if this is Coach Prime. So this was the Buffs getting after it first day of pads.
Rule number one. Let's get it together then.
Now, I don't know anybody's name, number, and I surely can't quickly make out what their names are, but I will tell you that Cree Thomas, the one that was in the tussle yesterday, and Boo Thomas that came over from Tennessee are getting high praise already. So those two will be two to watch on defense, and it is very nice to hear our defenders getting praise. Normally, it's the wide receivers, right? So it says a lot that our We got 2 defenders that just came in, one from Notre Dame, one from Tennessee, Cree Thomas and Boo Carter, getting a lot of praise in practice. So that's good. That's a good start. Let's get back to it. I can't tell who's who.
I love the competition. I love to compete. I love to compete.
I'm assuming that was an interception. Yeah. So, okay, let me ask a question. And I think I recall this. The people that are in the black, the players in black, that's defense or was that offense? Let me know. Because I know last year I thought I remembered the white was in the offense. Of course, the quarterbacks are in the yellow. I saw 16 throw a nice pass. I've seen 14 throw a nice pass. I've seen Juju throw a nice pass. So I'm thinking we rolling with just 3 quarterbacks. I don't think we're going to get a 4th. We're not going to have a special teams coordinator. So we're probably not going to have, it's not too far-fetched to think we're just going to roll with the 3 that we have. Let me know your thoughts there. So back to it. You see Coach Prime hyping up the players, but they already hyped. They didn't even need no hyping. And I love to see this, right? These guys are ready to compete. And one guy, I think on Darius's channel, shout out to Darius Sanders, was, no, that might have been Bucky channel. They were talking to him on the side, and he was talking about the tussle. And I think it was Bucky, because I said, shout out to Bucky for getting somebody on camera to tell that I love to come out here and mix it up, right? That's what gets us going. So shout out to Bucky for getting that. Shout out to Darius for the footage. They up. This the energy we want to see, right? So these guys it's a fairly big new crop of players. And this is the year, fingers crossed, we done got all the rats out, right? And we got the right group together that want to win together. So let's just keep it going. So shout out to Bucky for that. But this was the first day of pass, just in case y'all didn't know. All right. So I was excited to hear that Coach Brennan Marion has said, they focusing on stopping the run. That's what we need to be focused on. Now, everybody's talking about his go-go offense, but you hear that Coach Marion was telling them, don't touch quarterback, don't touch merchandise, but I'm going to need them D linemen to come at us all day. So they're focusing on stopping the run here in this clip. Let's get into it. Shout out to Darius. This is one of the clips that he shot, I think, earlier today.
Together, we need each other to make that happen. Stay off the quarterback. Run around them. Yes. Do whatever you got to do. But D-line, keep whooping our ass up front. D-line, keep whooping our ass up front. I give you
yeah. Do y'all know who that is that's yelling? Does anybody know who that is that's yelling?
We need each other to make that happen. Stay off the quarterback. Run around them. Yes. Do whatever you got to do. But D-line, keep whooping our ass up front. D-line, keep whooping our ass up front. I give you Together, we need each other to make that happen.
I'm going to tell you who it is, just in case y'all don't know. Let me see. I'm taking the comments to see if y'all knew who that was yelling. That's QB Sweet Wine is nice. Yeah, he is good. He is good. All right, so I'm going to tell y'all who that is. That is the newly elevated grad assistant, Dante Carter, that I told y'all is the select QB of the trenches. Dante Carter was elevated to the defensive line coach. That's him yelling, yeah. So they hype, they turn. And this is them, right? So when Bucky interviewed the guy on the side, he said, that's just me. He said, I love to come out here and mix it up. He said, this was getting us going. So you see the coach is hype, Coach Prime is hype. You hear Mary, telling them, get after our AZZ, right? But don't touch quarterback. Don't touch quarterback. So I think all 3 of the quarterbacks are nice. That's good, right? That's good. Juju was a starter. And the other 2 are pretty good. They all got arms on them. They all got arms. They all got legs. So that's one of the things I've always liked about Coach Prime. When he gets depth, they're also really good as well. Because if you think about it, right, the wide receivers that we have, right, we got JoJo, we got Farrakhan, we got Gibson. Who else we got over there? Well, Timmons is gone, so we lost him. But we had at the receiver position. At one point, seemingly we had depth on at least at the cornerback, but not so much. So that's why I'm happy to see Boo Carter, Cree Thomas coming in and making a lane for themselves. They don't have anybody's shoes to fill, right? So shout out to those guys. I think they're gonna be some beasts, and I'm happy about the Buffs being turned. So we got chemistry, and we got what do we call it? We got energy. We got good energy, Turnt energy, and we got good chemistry. And the coaches all seem to be working together. Now, there was a conversation. I heard somebody say that they believe that the conversation should have been had that Coach Prime is the only college program that has two black OC and DC. Is that right? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised unless they meant the Big 12. Now, I definitely believe that about the Big 12. But I want to remind you, that's one of the reasons he's the target. So I'm cheering with all my might. I'm cheering with all my might that this is the year we defy the odds, defy the rats, defy the refs, defy the damn boosters, the haters, and don't sit up here and act like these boosters ain't trying to push out Coach Prime. Don't do that to yourself. So we gonna band together and we gonna pray as hard as we can, as often as we can. In Jesus' name, please, Lord, let them overcome these people trying to tear down this program, right? So I feel like this should definitely be the year. So, right? This is no shoes to fill on defense anymore, right? Travis is, a whole season in the NFL removed. Is Carter starting you, or did he hop in the portal? That's one person I haven't heard his name, and I know we lost one of my faves, Bayard. I know we lost him, but it's okay. I wish it will. I'll be watching Texas A&M because Marcel Reed is over there too. So I'll be watching Bayard. So, shout out to them. And Colton Hood, I heard he did really well at the combine too. So the Bucks are up. They're up, and we'll be watching the practices to see who the standouts are. And we gotta play our game, right? Name that buff, because it's a lot of new buffs. So we got to name some people. So I'll probably try to put that together as they get deeper off into practice for a few more days. All right, so that's it on the buff report. Let me look at my notes to make sure I got everything. To sum up, Coach Prime honored Dom on his show talk. I got time today. Coach Prime honored Dom. He and Roxy were talking about it, and I know CU, had the players on the field, and Dom's family came in. That was all nice to see and honor him, right? So I feel like he's been officially by the school, the players, right? Laid to rest in their minds and their hearts, and now they just going out here and balling out and continuing on. So may Dom long live 22, rest in heaven. Long live Deuce Deuce. So shout out to Coach Prime for still keeping that young man's name in the conversation in the forefront and not letting it just be something that came and went. It's genuine, right? He's genuinely missed. All right. So I think that's everything. Free spring game tickets. So y'all, if y'all going, go look into that and go sign up for them before they're all gone. No special teams coordinator. So we just going without stopping the run. They already working on that in practice. We already hear how, Coach Marion want to do it. Don't touch the merchandise. Don't touch the quarterback, but the D-line come on with it. And the Buffs are turned. So that's all I need to see. Now we need to start learning their names. And shout out to Cree Thomas and Boo Carter. Shout out to those guys. All right, let's move on into our guy, Shedeur Sanders, is back in the lab. That's right. Shedeur Sanders and Jerry Jeudy. That is Mr. Jerry Jeudy, number 3. Standing next to Shedeur. They've been working out together at this place, T3 Performance. I followed them on X because I don't know what else they got to offer, but we'll see. And Jerry Jeudy and Shedeur have been quietly working out together. What do y'all think about that? That's all I want to know. What you think about it? I'll be back to check the comments. But when I saw this, I was like, Scooby-Doo. Huh? But it's proof that it's just a reminder that, and this is one of my sayings, sometimes you have to start over with people. Sometimes you have to start over with people. That don't mean you got to trust them immediately, but sometimes you have to start over with them again to see if you can land on a place of trust with them. So go slow with it. But what y'all think about it? Jerry Judy is obviously going to be there, and that we get ready to have a conversation about some money, about the bag, and moving some money around in Cleveland to make room. But Judy looks like he'll be there. Judy looks like he'll be there, and Tevin Jenkins from the O line is a priority for the Browns to re-sign him. I have this picture on the screen because I want y'all to tell me what you think about Shedeur and Jerry Judy quietly working out over there coming up this year. What y'all think? Y'all think all of the shenanigans is done? Or would you be surprised if Judy decided to start skipping to my Lou again? Let me know your thoughts, real thoughts. All right, so while we talk about that, let's get into some facts and figures here. First of all, Tony Grossi thinks Huntley should come back to Cleveland. I'm like, well, you let that man live. The man said he don't want to come back to Cleveland. Talking about he should come back to Cleveland as a fourth option. That man was the second option in Baltimore. Why? Because they moved Cooper Rush a little bit aside. I don't know if he was injured or whatever. But remember, when Lamar got injured, they let Huntley play. Now, I don't know if they was just trying to send Shedeur a message. You should have came over here. But honestly, I don't think Huntley needs to come back. I think trying to say Huntley needs to come over here as the fourth option is either you're ignorant to the fact that this man just backed up Lamar as a QB2 instead of Cooper Rush, and he did a mighty fine job. So they're verbally devaluing the man, saying he need to come back over here as the fourth option. I totally disagree. Let Huntley live in Baltimore. He's doing well over there. Stop trying to bring people to Cleveland and make them the last option, the last resort. You see how they talk about people? Anyway, so shout out to Huntley. I hope you stay over there, man. We'll be watching you and cheer for you just in case Lamar can't go. You know, we hope you get to go. And we know Huntley and Shedeur are friends, right? So we know that they'll be in talks, but I don't want them to bring Huntley away from Baltimore and drag him to Cleveland and make him the fourth option. He didn't say bring Huntley to Cleveland since he did well in Baltimore backing up Lamar and have him to compete for the starting job, surprisingly. He was like, bring him back to Cleveland. He should come back to Cleveland and be the fourth option. So disrespectful. I find that disrespectful. Let me know how you feel about it. But that's Tony Grossi. I don't even think we should be surprised. It's just what they think of people. All right, so let's talk about Tevin Jenkins. All right, so the Browns going to be moving around some money, and they've already put on the record, even though they have not committed to Shedeur Sanders or any other quarterback currently on the roster, they are seemingly trying to find money for Tevin Jenkins, and I think they found it. Tevin Jenkins was a right guard. He was brought in. I remember him. I feel like in the Panthers game was the first action, and personally, I felt like he sabotaged Shedeur. But, you know, they didn't let him play much. So this is a guard. He has a good PFF. Y'all know I checked. He has a good PFF, but he only played 3 to 4 games towards the end. So, see, they let Tevin Jenkins play when Shedeur played, just like in the Panthers game. I watched Tevin Jenkins let his man go. And the other guy, who I don't think he's still there, 72, went to Shedeur's rescue at the time. I think they cut him because he let his man go in the Rams game. So Tevin Jenkins is one they want to keep. He only played 3 or 4 games. His PFF is high because he only played 3 or 4 games. And the Bengals fans kind of was showing interest in him, right? So Tevin Jenkins currently ranks 9th, the 9th guard out of 84. 84 guards. And he's number 9. So that's pretty good, right? It said Cleveland has only given him a real run for the last 3 or 4 games at right guard. So he replaced Wyatt Teller and Jack Conklin. When Jack Conklin went dirt diving, they moved him out the way. Then they benched Wyatt Teller and they went to Tevin Jenkins. So this is who they want to keep. And they want to prioritize him, even though he only played 3 to 4 games when Shedeur played. So we just going to have to see what he do and how much money he get. So it said Tevin Jenkins has played 5 snaps at left tackle, 4 at left guard, 127 at right guard, and 8 at right tackle. So that's all 4 positions. It said in 30 as a 6th offensive lineman. He has a 75.2 PFF grade, and he allowed 7 pressures. I will be watching Tevin Jenkins with a side eye because I side-eyed him in the Panthers game. As you can see, they ain't really let him play that much. And He can play any position. I noticed they was moving him around a little bit. But to prioritize him, I don't know. And I'm hearing that Joel Bitonio will come back. That's what I'm hearing. So we want to keep Tevin Jenkins. We want to keep Joel Bitonio. That's 2. We have Howard. That's 3. So 2 more people. The center, Ethan Posting. I bet he's coming back. And that's 4. So that means the left tackle or the right tackle. Or we already got the right guard in Tevin Jenkins. We got the left guard in Bitonio because he ain't going nowhere. Ethan Posting is the starter. Everybody else is the backup. Let's talk about this money that's being freed up. All right. So the Browns have successfully restructured, at least in come to an agreement to restructure Deshaun Watson's contract, right? So y'all know Deshaun Watson is owed $46 million. The last year of his contract is this year. And they took the $46 million and split it up with $45 million, mostly in bonuses, right? So that doesn't count against the cap space. So it frees. It's like accounting. You're just moving stuff around, but you still owe it. So he can get paid the money as a bonus rather than as salary. So it frees up cap space of about $35 million somewhere in there. They said he's going to get about $1 million as a salary this year, $1.5 million. I said, that's kind of like about the same amount of money that Shedeur is going to make. So this is year 2 for Shedeur. He made $975,000 somewhere approximately last year. He's going to make about $1.2 million this year. And I said, well, cool. If they only have to pay him $1.5 million in salary, is he now tradable because they restructured his contract? And it was like, it would create big cap space. This is AI I'm talking to. This would create a lot of dead cap space. And I'm like, they've done it before because they had dead cap space when they sent Russell Wilson packing from Denver to Pittsburgh. And what that means is Deshaun will go to another team. Somebody else will pay the $1 million salary, and the Browns will pay that bonus money they still owe him, and he would just be on the roster playing. So it really doesn't benefit the Browns in terms of money to move him. And it went on to say that his severe injuries and his poor performance kind of negate his tradability. So basically, long story short, Deshaun Watson is devalued. They just moved around money to make $35 million to spend on people. And now they are going to restructure Denzel Ward's contract. So remember about a week or 2 ago, we were talking about Denzel Ward being on the projected cut list because of his contract. Well, there was some truth to that. People just didn't want to admit it. What they were trying to do was find a way to get from under his current contract. So I guess they came up with some type of decision instead of just cutting him outright, which was disrespectful, to do what? To restructure his money. So he gets to keep his job and stay in Cleveland. He already split up his signing bonus to $4 million a year over the last 4 years. So it must be his salary that they just gonna split up. I think it frees up $13 million in cap space. So between the 35 or the 45 with Deshaun and the 13 from Denzel Ward, that's about almost $60 million, 45, 55. Yeah, almost $60 million in cap space. Now, what you gonna do with all that money? It says that the money will be used, get this, on securing some of their players like Tevin Jenkins. And we just talked about him. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of contract he get. And number 13, the one that took the ball when they were playing the Bills, the holder of the ball, and threw it to the cameraman, they want to secure him. I'm like, see, y'all not doing right. I'm like, y'all not doing right. I'm like, on the cool, you basically have your O-line in place without spending the money you just got from Deshaun and you just got from Denzel Ward. So you got $60 million sitting out here. You could have did this shit last year and got Shedeur for $40 million. But you got Shedeur at a deep discount. So this year, you have $60 million of cap space. And the priority is supposed to be, it says it specifically, interior O-lineman. Specifically, not O-lineman, interior O-lineman. They just gave $63 million to Titus Howard. That was before Deshaun's restructuring, before Denzel Ward. So the money's supposed to be used to sign some of their players. Tevin Jenkins, number 13. I'm like, if they give all that money to Joel Batonio or Blake Whiteheart, it's going to be crazy. Oh, and a wide receiver. So interior offensive lineman, wide receiver, and defensive lineman. That's what it said. That's what the money is supposed to be used for. So I said, okay, all right. The 30 for 30s that were done or scheduled from the combine is with Ty Simpson and Cornell Tate. Now we know Cornell Tate is the first round wide receiver. And some of the money is supposed to be used for wide receivers. And I'm thinking the draft, they're thinking free agency. So I don't know what wide receiver. Clearing up $60 million when you have Titus Howard, Tevin Jenkins, Joel Batonio, 3, Ethan Posey, 4. That's one person. So are you freeing up all of this money and free agents get a lineman and pay another lineman $63 million? Or are you freeing up this money to get a wide receiver like Stephon Diggs to come over for 1 year for $20 million? What do y'all think? Because if you think about it, the moves that have been made, they pushed out Njoku. So they need another tight end. All right. They really only need one lineman because they've already got Jenkins. They've already got Batonio. They've already got Posick and Titus Howard. That's 4. So that's one lineman, one tight end. We just saw Jerry Jeudy working out with Shedeur. He wide receiver 1. He has a $43 million guarantee on a $56 million contract. So are we going to get Cornell Tate with some of that money? Or is this strictly for free agency money? And we're going to get a wide receiver and an O-lineman. Let me know your thoughts. That's a lot of money to free up if you're not getting a quarterback. I'm just saying. That's a lot of money to free up. And are you really going to take $60 million and spend it on a bunch of second, third, and fourth string linemen? Well, really second and third, because you don't even keep fourth string linemen doing around to the season. You just pick up somebody as time go along. So here's what I'm saying. Cleveland's woes are its O-line. And you see that they've made inroads to O-linemen. They need a wide receiver, but we just saw Jerry Jeudy over there working out with Shedeur right here on your screen. That means he not going nowhere. They probably not getting another wide receiver, but they did do a 30 for 30 with Cornell Tate. But I will tell you this, the last time the Browns have signed a wide receiver in the draft was 2016 in the first round. That's 10 years ago. So Cornell Tate is giving Shedeur Sanders, unless I'm bringing in a solid wide receiver for next year. For the man kid, I'm building for who I'm getting in 2027. I don't know if it's gonna be Cornell Tate, and I don't see it being Ty Simpson. I don't think it's him either. But that's a lot of money to free up when you have most of your O-line intact. So we're gonna see what they're gonna do with that money, because they don't. It's not like they got to put their whole defense back together. So stay tuned to see who is about to get this big chunk of money. It's going to be divided up against a few people, and it is not Tevin Jenkins. It's not number 13 either. Stay tuned for that. All right. So Quashon Junkins was asked about Monkey today. He basically, long story short, he likes him. He's different than what he thought he would be. He's more vocal. He said Monkey is more vocal. So, I mean, honestly, when they ask these players questions like that, I don't really buy into it too much, because what they going to say, right? I think the most shocking part of today came on the screen, seeing Shedeur work out with Jerry Jeudy. Any thoughts on this? I'm heading over to the comments to see what y'all are thinking. Because wow, this just says a lot. I don't know whose idea this was. I would love to know, but sometimes you got to start over with people. And, you know, if Shedeur asked, I'm not surprised, right? Because he know Jerry Jeudy not going nowhere. And if Jerry Jeudy asked, I might side eye. I might side eye and see what's going on, because I wouldn't trust it. All right. Shout out to y'all. Ramont, how you doing? Thank you so much. Happy Friday to the Flyers chat. That's facts. Hey, Tamika, how you doing, everybody? Hey, Tina, how you doing? Hey, Miss Pamela, how you doing? Hit the like button. Thank y'all so much. What's up? What's up, Isaiah? How you doing? Sitting back watching the Gospel of Sports. What she said? That's hilarious. I like that. The gospel of sports. That's hilarious. Thank y'all so much. That's hilarious. Nikki so fit in the place to be. That's facts. We're in full effect tonight. All right. It said the Bucks look hype. Yeah, they do. The Bucks looking good. The Bucks looking good. Ramon say shout out to Boo Carter. Totally agree. I'm excited. I'm excited. I might pop up. I might pop up. The tickets are free. I might need to see if they have any love. I might pop up. So don't be surprised y'all see me out there with my Colorado jacket and my what she said hat, because I got one coming in. So is it still gonna be cold in April? Because I can wear my beanie cap. You know, the orange and the gray. Well, I normally wear the orange one. I have orange and gray. Yeah. Is it still cold in Boulder in April around the 11th? I'm gonna have to check. You know, I could ask Siri. What's the average temperature in Boulder in April? If it's springish, then I'll wear my ball cap. But if it's still cold, I'll wear my beanie. And then y'all will know it's me. So I'll let y'all know if I end up going. And shout out to y'all who are helping me to sending me. I don't want to make it seem like I'm in dire straits, but y'all are sending me to the Hawks game on Magic City Monday, because we said what we want to see. I said if y'all send me to the game, I'll live stream it. So shout out to y'all that are sending me to the game. It's on the 16th. So I won't be live that night, but I will remind y'all as we get closer to the 16th. And the game is against the Orlando Magic. So it's Magic City Monday against the Orlando Magic. We might get to see Angel Reese because her boyfriend, her boo, Wendell Carter Jr., plays for the Orlando Magic. And they got another player. I forgot his name, but he's really, really good. They got a squad. They got a squad. We'll see what they can do. So the game should be exciting. Now, I bought a standing room only ticket. It's not too late to still send me to the game because somebody gave me the idea. Just go ahead and buy the ticket. And if they send you more money, just go ahead and sell that ticket and buy another ticket to get closer to the action. So right now, I bought the ticket. Shout out to Crowley. She sent me money first. So I went ahead and bought the ticket and just to make sure I'm in the building. But it's standing room only. So if y'all want to donate, feel free to send me $1, $5, $10, or whatever you're feeling to Cash App What She Said Sports, just like the channel, just all together. So you keep it honest. And yeah, I try to get a little closer to the action and see what happens. But I will be at the game. All right. So shout out to y'all for sending me to the game. It said the Buffs look hype. Yes, they do. Shout out to Boo Carter. It said, like the energy. I do too. It said that QB sweet wine is nice. He is. They all look good. And that's what Coach Prime, I think he's skilled at. Not just getting depth, but getting depth that actually can produce. It can run into a problem at times because you got good people sitting around, but we're going to see what they do, right? We're going to see what they do. One of the things I heard in one of the videos that I was watching, not today, is Brennan Marion say, I think it was him, say that y'all too quiet. Like some of y'all be all that rah-rah until we get to practice. And when we get to practice, y'all just quiet. So, you know, we seen a lot of people hype today. So that's what they're looking for. That's what they're looking for. So shout out to Coach Brennan Marion for setting a tone on the offensive side of the ball that he wants them to be hyped, right? We can be classy and hype at the same time. And that's one of the things the Bucks people don't realize. That's a classy team. That's the classy team. They not roguish, right? They not get locked up every day, that kind of thing. And, you know, they not those hard, they're not knuckleheads. These are some damn intellectuals, whether y'all know it or not, that's playing on this football team. There's no hard heads on this football team. They're not like that, right? I'm not saying they angels. That's not by, I don't know them like that. But you could tell, like, the vibe of the team, they're not no knuckleheads. They're not like that. So sometimes, you know, you end up with like-minded players. Like you could tell Brennan Marion, he don't look like a rah-rah dude. He kind of like Coach Prime. They kind of keep their Coach Prime personality be out there, but he all about the business, right? He don't cuss. You know, he said, if you get locked up, don't call me, you know, that kind of thing. So Brennan Marion looked like he pretty even keeled too. And that's the kind of players they have attracted. So they don't have no knuckleheads. So, but it's nice to see them hype. They got a renewed energy. Yes, Isaiah, I totally agree. Shout out to Coach. They said this season will be epic. I think so too. Love that word. It said there's a memorial for Dom tomorrow at CU at noon. Oh, okay. I was wondering. Thank you for sharing that. I was like, okay, I haven't heard anybody say anything about a service. Okay. So it's at noon tomorrow. It's just a memorial. Okay. So not an official funeral, but just like a memorial service. Let me know what you know, Tina. Rest in peace to Dom. It's that Judy is still a scrub. I agree too. But I tell myself sometimes you gotta start over with people, but that don't mean you gotta trust them. But I don't know whose idea this was, because yeah, I don't know. If it's Judy's, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it sideways because he showed himself. See, when people show you what they're capable of, you don't need to move off of it. You don't need to move off of it. You saw that for a reason. What you need to do is be cautious. And if you have to be your coworker, then trust, I don't know. Because remember when Judy and Shedeur connected on a touchdown and they did the kneeling in the end of the end zone? What happened after that? Judy went acting like a fool. So you can't trust it. You just can't trust it, whether he's a hothead or Judas. You just can't trust it. If you don't can't even answer that question, you should not trust it. Starting over with people does not mean immediately trusting them. It means trying. It means seeing what they gonna do this time, right? That's what that means. And we know Shadeur smart, so we're not directing that towards him. We just talking about in general. When I saw this photo, I was a little shook. I was like, oh Lord, geez, okay, here we go. Here we go. So it said Judy needs his contract restructured. Yeah, why didn't he restructure his contract? That would have been a good one. Why didn't he restructure his contract? Because to be honest with you, I want him gone. I would rather him go and they could get their cap space and let somebody else play his salary. And you know how they're doing Denzel Ward, with the restructuring and the shine. Why not restructure Jerry Judy contract so he could get the hell on and we could get Cornell Tate in here? Y'all think that could happen? Because it's time to start talking trade cycle, right? I mean, it's kind of already happening because Max Crosby just got traded. So it's fair game. It's fair game. So let's see. Maybe they'll surprise us and move off of Judy. And we'll just hear it at the last minute. But we've been hearing about Max Crosby in a trade for the longest. So I'm not surprised it finally happened. I'm just shocked. I thought it was supposed to be Pittsburgh, but turns out it's Baltimore. It's given Max Crosby can choose where the hell he want to go. That's what it's given. Must be nice. Must be nice. They say, I don't think anything about Jerry Judy. He showed who he is. I don't trust him. Tina says she not moving off of her opinion. I don't blame it. It's that at this point, the Cleveland media are outsiders like we are. And I appreciate Monken for keeping them out. You know what's funny? Somebody on X and myself were talking about this. And this is a good time to bring this up. Whoever it was I was talking to on X, they pop up in our comments every now and then. And we were talking about, he said, the Cleveland media is lost because Stefanski was feeding them and now he's gone. And I said, so Stefanski was the mole feeding the media. Now it makes sense. I said, well, that makes sense because his father, it is documented. His father have said to have gotten his job with the 76ers general manager in the NBA because of his media connections and who he knew in the media. So somebody in our comments wondered if Stefanski got his job in Atlanta after he was threatening to expose the Browns, probably to the media. There's a thought. I could see it. I could see it. I definitely could see it. I mean, I said it. They're not going to fire him during the regular season, even though they should, because he knows where the bodies are buried. So when you know where the bodies are buried and your father got his job due to your media connections and you got your job due to the media connections and you the mole that was feeding the media and that has become apparent, chances are when they talked about parting ways with you, they either were tiptoeing around you and came to you and say, look, buddy, we already got a job for you. Just chill out so you don't expose us. Or was it, if I go, we all go? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. That's very interesting. Shout out to y'all. Hit the like button for me on a Friday night. Yep. It makes sense now. It makes sense. Well, when they were fishing with all of the quarterbacks and things like that, it makes a lot of sense. So Stefanski was, and I told y'all when he was upset, he ran straight to the media. I say Stefanski went crying to the media, which is crying to the NFL about the fact that Shedeur is playing and he couldn't put Dylan back in because he blamed Andrew Berry for the personnel decisions. I don't know how Andrew Berry keeps saying on the record that he is Stefanski like family. I'm like, I don't think he see it like that. I'm pretty sure the way he undermined you at work, he don't respect you as a man. I'm pretty sure. He undermines him at every turn at the job, but y'all supposed to be family off the clock. No, that means Andrew Barry is either not, he's intelligent, book smart, but no common sense or no street sense. Definitely lacking street sense. Definitely lacking street sense. It's that next day we'll be talking about getting Carson Wentz. No, that wouldn't surprise me either. Is he still over there in Minnesota? Is he still over there? Because, oh, did I tell y'all that the Minnesota Vikings surprised the hell out of me and said they are ready to move on from JJ McCarthy? I was like, what? Are you kidding me? The person that they gave the keys to who didn't have an ounce of film after year one, you gave him the keys to the ball club. And he's a total bust. And he had no film. So there was no justification for you to do that. But guess what they didn't do? They didn't draft Shedeur either. Remember, Shedeur had 3 hats on at the combine in 25. The Saints, and y'all know how that went. The Browns, and you know how that's going. And the Minnesota Vikings. So was JJ McCarthy kept around in that QB1 spot to block Shedeur like Derek Carr didn't retire until after the draft, and now he want to come back because he blocked Shedeur. Oh, we don't need a quarterback. So why did the Minnesota Vikings meet with Shedeur? Interesting. Oh, there is a trade suggestion. Let me see what y'all think about this. All right, so there's another. Remember yesterday we talked about a trade that was involving Dylan for like sending Dylan in a 5th round pick to Atlanta and getting back a 4th round pick, number 114 specifically. Well, this one is involving Shedeur and the Vegas Raiders. Let's see if I can share it. All right. So, what do y'all think about this trade scenario? These are different trade scenarios based on rumors that people are hearing. Here it is right here. I can share it. All right, let's talk about this seriously. All right. Now, Shedeur's name always comes up with Vegas. Vegas was one of the first teams to be nice to Coach Prime and extend a suite to him, but that was after Shedeur got robbed. Shedeur was supposed to go to Vegas with Tom Brady, and we call him Tom Shady now because he never showed his face after he didn't help with this slide situation. He was complicit, right? So here we go. The Browns will receive a 2026 first round pick, number 1 overall for this year. Okay. And then the Raiders. So the Browns get a number 1 overall pick in 2026, and the Raiders will get Shedeur, a 2026 first round pick, number 6, and then a 2026 first round pick, number 24. So Shedeur was supposed to go 6 to 21. So what they're saying is they'll send a 6 and a 24 with Shedeur. That's a lot, don't you think? I mean, I don't know. What do y'all think? I mean, Shedeur's first round quarterback. So let me know your thoughts on what they want to send. Well, let me tell you why. If this trade said 2027, I'd get it, right? And this actually could be a 2027 trade. 2026 first round pick is what the Browns would receive. A 2027 first round pick is what they want. So this trade is half true. It's half true in the Browns getting a first round pick, but it ain't this year. It's next year. This trade has merit. Now, why would this trade actually have merit, knowing that Mendoza will go number 1 overall? So is somebody suggesting that Shedeur go to the Raiders now that Max Crosby's gone instead of Mendoza, and Mendoza come over to Cleveland? But wouldn't that block Arch Manning next year? Maybe. What y'all think about this? This trade right here? This trade has merit. It's just the wrong year. Unless after Mendoza spilled the beans at the combine, I haven't heard his name since. They're not so hot about him no more. Why do you think Max Crosby wanted out knowing that they were getting Mendoza? Any thoughts there? Knowing that they have Ashton Genty. Why would he want out of Vegas knowing change is right there in Vegas? Change is now in Vegas. Vegas is clearly not the Browns. So change is right there. Why would Max Crosby want out? Let me know your thoughts. All right. So I like this trade. I don't know about all the extra picks. I don't know. I don't think you need all of that to package it up with Shedeur. I think if this were 2027 and they get the 2027 first pick overall, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And could I see the powers that be pairing up Shedeur with Mendoza? Yes and no. Because Geno Smith over there too, right? So putting Shedeur over there, you got to do something with Geno Smith because his contract was guaranteed. They still owe him money. And then Mendoza is a check down key. So his skill set is different from the other two. So what would happen with Shedeur and Geno Smith? Would Shedeur be behind Geno Smith or would Geno Smith be behind Shedeur and Shedeur behind Mendoza? Because they ain't put Mendoza behind Shedeur. Not that skill-wise he shouldn't be, but their agenda is the check down key. Let me know your thoughts. I think this is an interesting trade scenario. Might be one to put a pin in because this is really 2027. It will be interesting if Shedeur ends up in 2027 in Vegas after everything that has happened. It was like basically they was just holding Shedeur to the side for 2 years. It said, remember, JJ was not the best person on the college football team. Pay attention. Who was? It said they ready to move away from 9. Who 9? What you mean? Let me know your thoughts, Z. You say they're ready to move away from 9. It said, what connections do his father have in social media? I'll wait. Maybe not. I don't know. Don't be surprised. His father, they say that's why he got the job. He must know some heavy hitters. He must know some of the people that own some of these stations. Now, remember, the Mary Cabot lady comes from a media family. I forgot what media family it is. I don't think it was Cox. It was something like that, though. I just don't remember which one it was. You can Google it. See, these people all, that's kind of how they do, right? They feel like, oh, okay, quid pro quo, right? If I hire Stefanski, Ed Stefanski, I think that was his name, as the 76ers, we'll get a lot of media press because he can use his media buddies. And that probably is what happened, right? And then with Stefanski, you see how the media was always, seemingly important and seeming like they were entitled to this opinion and that opinion. Well, like they're saying, this year they're kind of lost because Stefanski is not over there feeding them. My thing is the owner wanted that. I felt like the owner wanted that, but they're saying Monken is more tight-lipped. While Quashana Junkin is just saying he's more vocal. I don't know. I don't know. We just gonna have to wait and see. But Daniel Oyefuse was reporting that the reason the Browns didn't get, and I kind of didn't like how this was said, but this is Daniel saying what Andrew Berry said. So, it was all that talk about Malik Willis, right? And I felt like Andrew Berry let his ego kind of get in the way, and he kind of devalued verbally Malik Willis kind of the same way he did Shedeur. See, Andrew Berry's starting to give me the impression he want to be the only chip in the cookie. That's what I'm starting to get from him based on who he's devaluing, right? And all the talk about Malik Willis coming to Cleveland was he couldn't come after all of that rah-rah talk. He could not come because Malik Willis and Deshaun have the same agent, and there's an issue with that. I looked it up. It's some kind of clause where they both will be competing for QB1, Deshaun and Malik. So they have the same agent, so that wouldn't work. So there was a representation issue. Now, Daniel Oyefuse said that Andrew Berry told the reason why they didn't want to get Malik Willis was because his resume is slim and the ask for the money that he wants is something they don't feel like they could digest. In other words, he is more money than he worth. He said the same thing about Shedeur. He said the value outweighed like the skill set. The money he was asking for outweighed his value. I'm like, so when did you decide that? After Colorado Pro Day? And I'm like, you know what? I think you want to be the only cookie in a chip because you keep devaluing all these black players. I want to see Tevin Jenkins' contract. I want to see Tevin Jenkins' contract and what he get. I want to see Blake Whiteheart contract. If he get any more money, I want to see what they're going to do with Brendan Bates because I think he's on the list for somebody they got on reserves. I want to see if they're going to bring Luke Floria in finally because he was supposed to come off the practice squad. I want to see what they're going to do with him. Don't forget, they got a wide receiver on reserves that didn't even play pro ball last year. He was in the UFL the year before. They have first rights to him. So Andrew Berry has seemingly gone out and gotten all these inexpensive people, right? All these inexpensive people and just freed up 60 million in cap space. For what? Y'all don't find that a little strange? I wouldn't be surprised if Cornell Tate is not a part of their draft plan. They playing in his face probably like they playing in Shedeur's. We gonna see. 16 years was the last time they drafted a wide receiver in the first round, and they've never drafted a black quarterback in the first round. And look what happened to Shedeur. So maybe they draft him, but it probably ain't gonna be the first round, or it's gonna be late. Because I don't think they value black talent. And Andrew Berry don't make it no better trying to act like he want to be the only chip in the cookie that's getting paid. So they ready to move away from 9. Oh, you talking about JJ McCarthy? Yeah, Minnesota say they ready to move away from JJ McCarthy. So the implications is for them to get another quarterback. Let's see if this trade ends up. Remember, AI predicted Shedeur will be an MVP in Minnesota in 2028 or 2030. Future. But they had him in Minnesota. And I said, well, that's because AI know that JJ McCarthy not good. And AI knew Shedeur was good because it's all based on stats, right? So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens because they just put Deshaun in position to only get paid $1 million. But I feel like they holding him hostage. Shedeur only getting paid $1 million. I feel like they holding him hostage. Dylan is supposed to be moved out. Tony Grossi calling for Huntley to come in. That's the indication that they just devaluing black quarterbacks. That's 3. And then there will be a 4th. Let's see who that is. Let's see. It said, remember, JJ was not the best person on a college football team. Oh, you talking about JJ McCarthy. I'm thinking you talking about Jerry Judy. My apologies for my JJ. Okay. Yeah. I don't know how he got there. I I never thought that was a good idea. Mendoza will be a bust at NFL. If they go with real quarterback play, like 75-yard passes, 65-yard passes, yeah, because he's not accurate like that. That's why they make him a check down king. So see, that's what they do. They take quarterbacks like Dylan, Mendoza, Tyler Shaw, who are inefficient in accuracy, and make them check down kings to keep them in front of the Shedeurs, the CJ Strouds, the Jaden Daniels. That's their plan. That's their plan to dumb down the game because the black quarterbacks are taking over. They trying to stop it. That's just what it is, and they don't want it to happen. It said by Vegas. Remember the Raiders ranked where in offense last season? It said let Mendoza get beat up in Vegas. It said Crosby knows that Mendoza will be a bust. I'm thinking, I know he knew. So I'm like, okay, you done walked out the facility. They let you come back, and you still got your trade, and not likely you picked the team. It must be nice. It just must be nice. But that only can mean that the Ravens gonna be serious this year, because unless they just gonna play in Max Crosby face because he did all that, because they like that. So yeah, I can see it. I just want to know what the Browns gonna do with this 60 million in cap space. Because I'm paying attention. Y'all damn near done with the starting O-line. You ain't finna spend all that money on no backups. You gonna keep them backups that Stefanski brought in at the end of the season. Barry brought in at the end of the season, and Greed was the last name for one of them dudes, and he came from the Texans. They just love the Texans O-line. That just points to the plan. I just think that points to the plan. I think they're quiet on Joel Bitonio because they don't want people to get pissed off. They're going to sign him at the last minute, and he better not get all that money. If they give him all that money like they gave, they could do it, y'all. How old is Joel Bitonio? Look at the contract they just gave to Titus. It's a 3-year contract, and Titus is 29 or 30. So that means he's going to be 33 when it expires, and he'll never get to the 3rd year. It's going to be 2 years, and the 3rd year just going to go to the wind. How old is Joel? Let me see the setup. Okay, he's 34. So I don't even know why they want to keep him. So he's 34. Let's see if Andrew Berry tries to devalue him and give him a cheap contract for 1 year. I doubt it because of what they want him to do. If they want him to come back, they want him to do it again. And they want him to lead the effort because he's the leader on the O-line. Let's see what this 60 million in cap space gonna do. He wasn't listed as a priority, but that don't mean that that's not the case. Because I know they're not giving all that money to Tevin Jenkins. If so, they could have gave that money to Tevin Jenkins and not give it to Titus Howard. But they bringing Titus Howard over from the Texans. So for a 5th round pick, which is crazy. So, that's kind of weird in itself. It said Crosby fell out with Tom Brady. 12 got pretty nasty. Oh, wow. So he just was done with the organization. It said, nope, we good. Vegas had their chance. T. Voltage said, as it pertains to this trade, no, we good. Vegas had their chance. So T. Voltage does not like this trade. He's like, no, I said this trade is viable for next year. I can see it. I'm thinking they're going to have to move off Shedeur. We know what they want to do. Let's not pretend. We know what it is. And cool. Just long as you don't think you're going to send Shedeur as a QB2 or 3, like you devalue Jameis Winston and sent him to the Giants as a 3, knowing he started for you the year before. It's not above them to do. That's how they get down. They devalue these quarterbacks on the way out. It said, I saw something that said Crosby is now in Baltimore. That's facts, Marlon. Max Crosby is now a Baltimore Raven. Max Crosby is now a Baltimore Raven. So let's see what happens to Lamar contract extension talks. Remember, he's supposed to be in negotiations. Let's see what happens with that. It says Shedeur will be behind Geno Smith because of his contract. Because of Geno Smith contract? Yeah, because it was like, was it 63 million guaranteed on 75 or 84 million? I haven't heard his name. I find that so interesting. I mean, they was just dragging him through the mud. Like, Geno's trash. Geno's trash, like they do the Shine. And suddenly the FC files came out, and he in it, and it's just crickets. Now, typically, they would be pointing the finger at him. But something leads me to believe that they got him involved. Yeah. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. And I ain't heard a peep out of Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, Geno Smith in the FC files. Google it. It'll tell you what they were talking about. What it was about. They had some words and quotes. 9 is the nickname they gave JJ McCarthy. Okay, thank you for the clarity. I appreciate it. It say Raiders need to get Malik. Oh, y'all think Malik Neighbors should leave? Oh, can we get Malik Neighbors? Oh, that would be good. They ain't gonna do it though. Let's see what his contract look like. Is he up? Malik Neighbors? I like Malik Neighbors and Shedeur. Malik Neighbors contract. Let's see where he is. If you're just not joining us, we're talking Browns news. Catch the replay to hear us talk about the Colorado Buffs. Malik Neighbors signed a 4-year, $29 million fully guaranteed contract. Oh, that's his rookie contract with the New York Giants in May of 2024. So he's still on a rookie deal, including an $18 million signing bonus. Man, they get them for cheap. As the number 6 overall pick, the deal includes a 2028 5th-year option. He is set to earn $3.45 million cash salary in 2026. And when you look at these Titus Howard contract and Malik Neighbors contract, they're like night and day. $63 million for 3 years versus $29 million for 4. Ooh, man, and they don't always get that 4th year. They get the signing bonus and the guaranteed money, but that's not even a lot. Still not feeling AB. Yeah, I think that's he got that syndrome, the only chip in the cookie. Ear say Browns may get rid of Dylan and bring in Geno. Oh, now that's different. But Geno's contract is heavy though. I think he was only there for 1 year. It was a 3-year deal. So he got 2 years left. Let's see how many Geno Smith contract. I remember reading his contract when he got there. I think they're gonna surprise us, and let's see. I could see them getting Ty Simpson for cheap and putting him behind Arch Manning next year because he's not going to show Arch Manning up. Geno Smith is expected to be released by the Las Vegas Raiders before the 2026 league year, making him a free agent. Wow. After signing a 2-year, $75 million extension with $66.5 million guaranteed. I said 63, but close. It said the move following the 25 season where he led the NFL in interceptions results in $18 million in dead money for the Raiders. So he gone. He expected to be cut. He gonna make in 25, y'all. Let me share this with y'all. In 25, he made $40 million fully guaranteed. So when they gave him that contract, I say they brought him in to block Shedeur. I think I'm right because they moving him out in 1 year. Who else did they do that to? Stephon Diggs. And what did I say? They took him away from CJ Stroud. If he was going to be wide receiver 2 along with Nico Collins and the tight end Schultz, and then it would have been Stephon, that's a powerhouse, right? That's like the big 3 in terms of receptions. But he only played 8 games. So I'd have to go back and look at the first 8 games and see in what capacity they used him. But they took him away from CJ Stroud after he was healthy and gave him a fat contract and then released him after 1 year, just like they doing Geno Smith. You see, that's a tactic. Give them a big fat contract, make them think they're going to be around 2-3 years. They only get 1 year because they only being used to disrupt or block. Geno was to block Shedeur. Stephon was to disrupt CJ Stroud. Yep, that's what that was. That's what that was. That's exactly what that was. Because I'm like, why you just don't give them 1 year contracts, right? Maybe they wouldn't go for it. Maybe the guys are asking, you got to give me more stability. Maybe to make it look legit, right? What do y'all think about that? That's actually pretty interesting. So Geno Smith is going to be released. So who said that Geno Smith probably will come to interesting. Who said that? T Voltage. Browns may get rid of Dillon and bring in Geno Smith. Now that's devaluing Geno Smith for real. Dillon for Geno Smith? And you paid Geno $75 million for 2 years or $66 million guaranteed? And Dillon only made $9 million in 4 years. That's devaluing Geno Smith to push him out because he's been around since what, 2011, 2013? I guess that's going to be the end of his career if he comes to the Browns. And when he become a free agent after they give him they're going to probably give him a 1 year contract. And after that, toss him to the wind. And you know why I think that's what they could do? So T Voltage is on to something, whether it's Geno or anybody else. If it's somebody they want to push out like they did Russell Wilson, he going to leave that dead cap space behind. They're going to move him off of that team because that's what they did with Russ. They sent Russ to New York with a 1 year contract for $10 million. And when it ended, they benched him, which was embarrassing. And he just rolled the pine. And they let Winston play with Jackson Dart. Dart got hurt. Winston went in. And Russell Wilson is a private citizen. It's a private citizen. That's what they're going to do to Geno Smith. Now, the question is, will it be the Browns? I can see it. Putting him over there with Shedeur. 3 quarterbacks. And then Tony Grossi talking about getting a 4th, Huntley. You see how they treat black quarterbacks in Cleveland? You see how they think? They just devalue them. That's just what it is. And then Andrew Berry uses his tongue to devalue Malik Willis by saying the money he asking for is too much. His resume is too slim. All he doing is the work of his master. Yep, that's what it is. Shout out to Malik Willis for having the same agent as Deshaun, so you ain't got to come to Cleveland. Let's see where he end up. Malik Willis should be the starting quarterback in Minnesota. Let's see what happens. Not saying it's going to go well for him, but, that's what it should be. That's what it should be. Max Crosby have been traded to the Ravens. Yes, congratulations to Max Crosby for getting out of Vegas and knowing that. So now that proves that this might be, which I said, more about Tom Brady than it is the Raiders because you knew Mendoza was coming. You know Ashton Genty over there. And Geno Smith is gone. And you still want to go? So, yeah. Whoever said that this is about the Tom Brady situation, I think you speaking straight facts because that's what the evidence supports. That's what it supports. So shout out to Max Crosby for coming over to the Raiders. It'll make the Ravens, it'll make the Ravens more exciting. Again, it must be nice to walk out and come back and they still work with you and get you to a team that's a contender, shout out to Max Crosby. Oops.
Be sure.
Shout out to Max Crosby. Y'all know Max Crosby is friends with Shedeur. So if Shedeur was being traded over there and he still wanted out, it would say everything. All right, I have a question for y'all. I've been wanting to ask this question. I'm going to ask it in a poll. Y'all know that, shout out to y'all, hit the like button. Y'all know that Shedeur wears the number 12. And I told y'all, I'm not loyal to no number. Shedeur's nickname is still 2. He still does like this when he take pictures. That's the 2. He still refers to himself as 2. His name is still 2 on his social media, in a bio on YouTube. Now that the number 2 is available because Andre Carter is gone, the one they gave the 2, jersey number 2, and he didn't even play all year. They basically kept him around to hold on to Shedeur's number because he was on injured reserve the entire time. It has been discussed that he's gone and not coming back. If that is true, and the 2 is available, 1, do you think the Browns will give it to Shedeur or if they'll play keep away again? And 2, if it's available and they're like, put it in his locker, you can have it, make it clear that he could have it. Do you think he should put on the 2 and be legendary? Or should he keep the 12? Thoughts? I'm looking to see what y'all thinking about that. Let me know as I go through the comments. That's a valid question. All right. I would love to see Shedeur in Minnesota. Okay. Who said that? Z? It's just kind of cold. I don't want to go up there. I mean, it's cold in Cleveland, but Minnesota, woo! All right. So, Z, why would you? Oh, Justin Jefferson. Is that why you're saying that, Z? Because you like to see Shedeur with Justin Jefferson? Okay. All right. I'll give you that. It's a little cold, but it was cold in Cleveland. Okay. And then we'll be on the path to what AI said, him becoming the MVP. Okay, Z, I'm with you on that one. I like that one. I like that one. Look, let me get the right sound. Straight facts. I like that. As long as they contract the line and they both in Minnesota at the same time, and it's not like Shedeur come up there and Justin Jefferson go to another team. I don't want to see that happen. It's that now Aaron Rodgers is going to the Vikings. Say what? Aaron Rodgers is going to the Vikings? So is that why they want to be done with JJ McCarthy? So they just gonna throw JJ, ball him up and throw him in trash. All right. Ain't that something? I find it very interesting that they fired their GM, the black guy, blamed him for JJ McCarthy. Now they moving off of JJ McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers. So who is he coming up there to get fired? Because that's what he did to Mike Tomlin. He even told Mike Tomlin, I'm sorry. So you just the dagger of death that people keep bringing around on the team to get rid of folks. And he probably got to do it because, that whole domestic violence thing with Danica Patrick, I was like, why would they want to keep him around? I'm starting to now learn. Remember the pink powder with Stephon Diggs and then Aaron Rodgers with Danica Patrick? I'm like, why would you want to keep people like that around? Because I can use you. That's why. We see how they use people to go against other people. They said before the season started, when Aaron Rodgers got there, after he blocked Shedeur, that his job was to get Mike Tomlin fired, and he did. And he told Mike Tomlin, I'm sorry. Then they tried to trash Mike Tomlin, talking about some Babygate situation. That's between him and his wife. Because you want me to believe he the only man up there in the NFL cheating on his wife? Really? Really? With all them little cheerleaders around? Really? Come on now. Let's not go there. So Aaron Rodgers wanted to go to Green Bay. And I was like, so you just going to move Jordan Love and Malik Willis out the way? So sound like maybe Minnesota. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. So he leaving Pittsburgh. That's the point. I heard he don't want to be there no more. I heard he wanted to be done with Pittsburgh. So he only went there to block Shedeur and get Mike Tomlin fired. I don't know how you sleep at night. Letting people use you like that. It said, I would love to see Shedeur in Minnesota. Straight facts. It said, remember, Willis only had 28 downfield passes versus the jump and the trick plays. He was awarded field yardage. I mean, that's not his fault. It's not like he didn't go to college, right? And Tennessee screwed him over, putting him behind Will Levis. They try to put Cam behind Will Levis. Then they put I mean, that's just how you devalue the players, right? You draft them, you put them behind a failing veteran, then you ship them to another team and put them behind a young veteran. He don't get no opportunity to develop, no prioritization. Then when it's time for free agency, oh, he not that good, and he don't get no money, or he can't be a starter, and his rookie contract gets exhausted, and then he's out the league. That's what happens. That's what they think they're gonna do to Shedeur. That's what they thought they were going to do to Shedeur. Seemingly, we're pivoting and supposedly keeping the quarterbacks we have on the roster, which is 2, which is crazy because you know they're gonna get 2 more. They just freed up $60 million in cap space. They mostly have an O-line. Jerry Jeudy working out with Shedeur, so he's still wide receiver 1. They probably not getting Cornell Tate first round money because the Browns haven't done that since 2016 in 10 years. So we getting some veteran quarterbacks with that money. The Browns gave Flacco $4 million. I don't know how much they gave Pickett. Is he still in Vegas? Because we know he's not going to be QB1, right? Or QB2. Is Pickett going to be QB2 behind Mendoza? I can see it. I can see it. Blocking Shedeur, pushing out Geno. Yeah. Sound like they just going to take all the black quarterbacks and send them to Cleveland if they can. Wanting to bring back Huntley, swapping out Willis with, Kyler Murray was let go. Kyler Murray was officially let go. Geno Smith will be let go. That's 2. So I think when the season ended, we started with 16 or really 17 black quarterbacks, but Shedeur quickly taken away with 16 and left Shedeur removed with 16 being Cam. And then they put Jalen Milroe on the bench, they say, for 2 years. So that tells you how they think. So saying he's buried on the bench for 2 years. That's what they wanted to do to Shedeur, but fans. So they moved Russell Wilson out the way, so there was no starter in New York. Now, Jaden didn't play this year for the most part. He was out for the majority of the season. So that was down to maybe 14. Spencer Rattler got kicked to the curb, so that was down to 13. And now with Geno Smith out the way, it's down to 12. With Kyler Murray out the way, it could be, if Jacoby Brissett is not the starter, it could be down to 11 or 12. We'll give 1 + 1 or -1 for people moving around. So we have gone from 17 to 2025 with Shedeur to the 2026 draft, starting with 12 or 13, somewhere between 11, 12, and 13 black starting quarterbacks. And with most of them going back to school, none of them are coming out in the first round. So it's going to be 12 or 13. And then they're going to use these competitions to move people out the way. So let's say they get Ty Simpson, right? Shedeur wasn't the starter because he played 7 games instead of 10. You think got to play 10 games. So technically he wasn't the starter. I don't know who they labeled the starter as. That's why they have so many people take starts, so they can control who is on the record as the starter, who is prioritized as the leader of the team. That's their strategy, to just keep rotating them around. And they're going to do that this year too. So that tells you with that $60 million in cap space, they're going to get probably Deshaun and Shedeur, probably a veteran or 2. Maybe Ty Simpson from the draft late to make sure he don't upstage. They might get Mac Jones. They could get Mac Jones. His name came up too. And I told y'all his name was going to come up. But Mac Jones is going to be expected to play. And I don't know if they want that. See, Cleveland's overall agenda is not to look good. It's to look mediocre. So next year, they can look like superstars. Oh, Andrew Barry did a good job of putting together a winning offense and a winning defense just in time. You know, the Arch Manning kid come in here, check down, throw a bunch of bomb passes, you know, every now and then, spread it out over the season, and he'll look like the hero. That's the plan. The plan is not for anybody to win more than 6 games. When Vegas, one of the Vegas apps said that, the betting apps. I was like, how the hell you know they're not gonna win more than 6 games and you don't know who the quarterback gonna be? Because that's the agenda. How many games they won last year? In Shedeur's first year, 5 or 6, 4. So this year, if they win 6, that's an improvement, right? And then the next year, they'll probably win 11 games or something because it's gonna be propped up. See, that's the Browns' agenda. And when you know what their agenda is, not to appear good, I can't tank to get the number 1 overall pick because I'm already in trouble. So I gotta kind of placate a little bit and walk the tightrope. So here's what we're gonna do: we're gonna win 2 more games than we did last year, and that's it. That's why they said 6, and they don't know who the quarterback is. Now everybody's saying the job is Shedeur's to lose. Here's Jerry Jeudy working out with Shedeur. Jerry Judy's wide receiver 1. This makes me a little uncomfortable because we know what this dude is capable of. Not just skipping to my lube, but playing in Shedeur's face and then trying to embarrass him at the same time and failing him after playing in his face. So I don't expect no different from him. The question is, whose idea was this? That's what I wanted to know. So the Browns predicting to win 6 games is because they're not supposed to look like, let's go to the Super Bowl. That's not who they're supposed to be this year. They don't want that. So I don't see them getting Cornell Tate. Unless they get Cornell Tate and say, look, don't go out here and be Superman in your rookie year. So I don't see them getting Cornell Tate. But I do see them getting Ty Simpson with the same pick that they had with Dylan. Yeah, I see that. And maybe Kyler Murray, just to devalue him and kick him out the league, like they did Russell Wilson. As long as it's about football and nothing else, that's the problem. It's never about football. It's that Diego Pavia is better than Mendoza. What's going on with him? Because I don't hear nothing about him. He said he was hanging out with Johnny Manziel. I was like, okay. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm like, at one point it was a good thing, but he might be a little different now. So I don't hear them talking about him. I don't know what he's predicted to do in the draft. I know he decided he got his 7th year waiver approved to go back for his 7th year and decided to come out when Dante Moore decided to go back to school. So he saw an opening on the freeway and took it. I can't be mad because it makes sense. So I don't know where he going. Maybe they want to capture and contain him too. I don't know. It says Shedeur will be Cleveland Browns QB1 and their franchise player. He's not going to be their franchise player. He might be QB1, but he's not going to be their franchise player. And QB1 at what expense? I'm happy he's going to be QB1. Shit, I just want to see him play. I was actually thinking about, well, one thing for sure, we'll get to see him play this year. We'll get to see him ball out in practice. We'll get to see him ball out in training camp. We'll get to see him, I'm assuming we'll get to see him play in the preseason game. Y'all think they're going to let him play a preseason game? Because he's not technically a rookie no more, right? Is he still a rookie? I thought that was just for first-year rookies. Let me know. It said, I heard Geno is going to New York. To the Jets or the Giants? Miss Pamela, is he going to the Jets or the Giants? Let me look it up real fast. What team is Geno Smith going to play for? Interesting. It said to release Geno Smith after 1 season. I don't know. Maybe that's just talk. Okay. Let me know which New York. Okay. Geno Smith landing spots. Best fits for the Raiders QB. This is from Shedeur Sanders Friendly CBS Sports. Let's see. So they have put him in free agency in 1 year. After 1 season with the Raiders, Geno Smith expected to be released him before the start of free agency next week. Free agency start next week? God damn, that's fast. Jeez. We made it back all the way to free agency. Okay. Is Colorado going to have a pro day? Are they going to do that this year? I haven't heard anything. It says Smith could still get traded at some point over the weekend, but if that doesn't happen, he'll hit the free agent market. And when he does, he'll likely have several interested suitors. The 35-year-old struggled with the Raiders last season, but before that, he started for 3 seasons in Seattle and led the Seahawks to a winning record in each of those years. See, it's not Geno Smith. It said the 2-time Pro Bowler has played for 5 teams in his 13-year career. So where could he end up next? Let's take a look at a few possible. Miami Dolphins. It It said, with the Dolphins expected to move on from Tua, really? Oh, Lord, not Tua. Y'all think Tua coming to Cleveland? Oh, Lord. Miami will need a starting quarterback. It's that there's been some speculation that the team might make a play for Malik Willis. I like it. But if that doesn't work out, Smith would make a solid plan B. Smith was born and raised in Miramar, Florida, which sits less than 10 miles from the Hard Rock Stadium. So the chance to return home and play for the Dolphins might be high on his radar. So no chance that Shedeur going to Miami, huh? Could they play musical chairs? Shedeur to Miami, Tua to Cleveland? What y'all think? Clearly, they're moving on from Tua. Like, that's just what it is. What y'all think about that? Shedeur to Miami. I don't know where that leaves Gino, but that's Shedeur to Miami and Tua to Cleveland. Or is it Tua to the Vegas Raiders and Gino to Miami and Shedeur just stay in Cleveland? I like Shedeur to Miami personally. I just think it would be better for him. But that's just my opinion. He's made himself happy wherever he is. So that's just my opinion. It said yes, and Diego Pavia to Vegas with Mendoza. Okay, so you think they will put Diego Pavia with Mendoza and Mendoza at the 1 and Pavia at the 2? Okay. I think they have different quarterback styles. It could work. It said Browns need to get that O-lineman from the Lions. Penny Sewell. How much money he made? Let's see. Lions, Penny Sewell. Let's see. P-E-I-N-E-I Sewell. Here he is right here. Contract. That's what I want to see. Penny Sewell signed a 4-year, $112 million extension with the Detroit Lions in April of 24, locking him in through the 2029 season. Ain't gonna be him. This deal, which included $85 million guaranteed, made him the NFL's highest paid offensive lineman at the time, with the $28 million average annual value. So they giving linemen big bucks now. And the Browns just freed up some cap space and seemingly are holding on to Batonio for dear life. If they give him all that goddamn money for 1 year or 2, it's going to be on. And you should know what to look for if they do. They supposed to be using that money for the O-line, and they got it mostly intact. And then they need a tight end. See, I can see them getting a tight end in the first round. I can see it. I mean, they got Harold Fanning Jr., but they say he the tight end of the future. So that means it's a tight end over there. Blake Whiteheart, the one that ripped off Shedeur's nail. Let's see what happened. Let me look at his contract. Let me check his contract out right fast because I can answer my own question based on what he got. Penny Sewell seemed like a good dude, but his contract ain't going to happen. He's buried till 2029. Shout out to whoever suggested that. Blake Whiteheart. What he got going on? Blake Whiteheart. They like to reward people for bad behavior. Let's see here. Well, here we go. Blake Whiteheart signed a 1-year tender with the Cleveland Browns on April 7th, 2025, which was before the draft, to remain with the team as an exclusive rights free agent, which I've never heard of, ERFA. The contract keeps the tight end in Cleveland for the 2025 season to provide depth behind David Njoku, who's gone after recording 6 receptions for 51 yards and a touchdown in 2024. It said it's a 1-year exclusive rights tender signed April 7th for $915,000. He make almost about the same money as Shedeur, and that was just 1 year. Originally an undrafted free agent in 23 out of Wake Forest, he spent time with the Cardinals and the Browns. An exclusive rights free agent, Whiteheart was not able to negotiate with other teams, leading to his return to the Browns. So all of those players that I talked about that have the Browns have rights to them is what Whiteheart had last year. So I have a feeling Batonio and Whiteheart gonna get some of that money and a lot of it too. Let's see. Because they moved Njoku out the way first. And you saw Whiteheart prove he could do what to the quarterback. And for y'all that don't want to be reminded, let me remind you, of Monken's role in choosing the personnel to put Mark Andrews on the field instead of Isaiah Likely? Isaiah Likely is in Joku. So guess who Mark Andrews is? Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if I'm right. Because remember, Harold Fanning Jr., Shedeur's go-to target, is a tight end of the future. You didn't say the current tight end. You said of the future, which meant you got plans for somebody after you moved Njoku out the way. And you know Whiteheart is over there. And he ain't got no contract. Stay tuned. All right. So free agency starts next week. And they cleared up $60 million. Let's see what they're going to do with it. All right. It said the Browns need to get the O-lineman. Oh, that was T Voltage. Yeah, he can't come. He over there till 2029. It said Kyler Murray probably should go to Minnesota or Willis. Okay, I like that. Kyler Murray should be a QB1, but I'm pretty sure the goal is to Russell Wilson him. I'm pretty sure. It said, what about Diggs coming to Cleveland? Yeah, no. I said, yeah. But the fans said no. They feel like he has too much baggage, too much drama, and it would just disrupt the team. That's what people said by consensus when I asked the question in the chat. They was like, no, hell no, absolutely not. It was like me and maybe one or two other people who could see the value in his skill set, but they said his baggage, his character. He would be upset if Shedeur didn't ball. I said, okay, well, we don't want that. So, no. They said overwhelmingly no. Character flaws, character issues, and drama, lifestyle issues. It said, now I like A.J. Brown over Diggs. I don't like A.J. Brown at all because he caused all that goddamn ruckus in Philadelphia. He let them use him to disrupt that team so they don't go to the Super Bowl. I told y'all that's what was going on. And people was like, no, I'm like, bullshit. They using him to disrupt that damn team so they don't get back to the Super Bowl. Did they? Remember all that chaos? That was him. How many times did we see receivers be used this season? A.J. Brown, Jerry Jeudy, whoever the hell that was up there with Caleb in Chicago when they got eliminated. C.J. Stroud elimination game. It was Christian Kirk. Over here with Jameis Winston, whoever the damn wide receiver was that stopped running on his routes. They using these black receivers against these black quarterbacks. I'm paying attention. And A.J. Brown was used against Jalen Hurts with all that chaos bringing it up in the season. That team worked really hard to have a cohesive front. The only friction they had this year was him. Whatever he was feeling, he didn't need to bring it to the media. He knew what that would do. He knew what the media would do with it. That was his way of Jerry Jeudy in the situation. So he can stay where the hell he at. But I could see them bringing him over here. Anybody that proves they can disrupt the black quarterback gets a raise if they white or a new job if they black. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. That's what it is. It said Geno Smith might be the QB at the Raiders, and Mendoza will sit behind Geno Smith for about 7 games before they start him. Absolutely not. Not in this current NFL. They're going to start him on game 1 as a check down key because that's why they drafted him number 1. Mendoza and Tyler Shaw in the last year's drafts set the precedent that less talented quarterbacks can be drafted in the first round. And the talented quarterbacks like Shedeur can be pushed out the way like Jalen Milroe. That's what the 25 draft was about. They don't need to do that no more in 26 because they finagled it already in college. So Mendoza's coming out first. Then in 27, since I got Tyler Shaw and Mendoza as precedents coming out first round when they shouldn't be, or first overall when they're not like that, it paves the way for the Manning kid, regardless of how he performs, to come out number 1 overall. And NCAA college football is already trying to give that kid the Heisman. And they are doing it at Trinidad Chambly's expense, just like they did it at Shedeur's expense using Dillon. Yep, that's what it is. Dumbed down, just like the NBA. Oh, yeah, people are talking about the NBA and how soft and boring it is. People watch the unrivaled basketball game And they said these women are playing better and more real intense basketball than the NBA. These are real conversations that are going viral. I was at the restaurant. I have a little bit on camera talking about it. People really feel like the NBA has diluted itself, and we were talking about why. And just in case y'all didn't know, a rival basketball star who I follow, Enrique Obaguale, who made, I thought, the game-winning shot in the championship game from the side, must have been when they were in playoff contention. She got arrested after celebrating the win at a nightclub. They tried to kick her out, and the security guard, and that landed her in jail. And of course, she bonded out. But she's very unproblematic. So I don't know why they try to kick her out the club. So if y'all know, let me know. But remember, she's the sister of Dare Obaguale, who plays for the Texans. I think he's a running back for the Texans. So I've been following them. So I'm just like shocked, like, oh my God, how the hell did she get arrested? They showed a mugshot and everything. So I don't know why they try to kick her out the club. So something went down in Miami last night. But congratulations to Miss Ball Club for Unrivaled Basketball. So back to our conversations. Yeah. It says, I don't think Cleveland traded 12 this year. Probably not, Nisa girl. He gonna be over there. Just like Deshaun is gonna be over there. But that might surprise us. The question is, what are they gonna do with this $60 million they just got by freeing up Deshaun and restructuring Deshaun and Denzel Ward's contract? And I'm thinking Blake Whiteheart and Joel Bitonio. Or possibly and a veteran quarterback like Mac Jones, somebody like that. Let's see what happens. Thank you, Ramon. Thank you. It said ABC or AFC North is going to be interested next year. Is Joe Burrow going to still be in Cincinnati? Remember, he wanted to leave Cincinnati. Burrow wanted to leave Cincinnati. Don't forget the question. Should Shedeur, if the 2 is available and the Browns like, here, you want the 2, should he want it? Should he start wearing the 2 and stop wearing the 12, or just don't worry about it and keep pushing with the 12? Let me know your thoughts. Shedeur not getting traded. Okay. So who's that? Jay Nicole said he's going to be right there. It's that is too much for Willis. He didn't play much. I mean, he's a good quarterback. I just think they're going to do Shedeur like they're doing Malik Willis, right? You're going to come over to this team. If Shedeur had been drafted first, they would have put him behind the veteran, except for in Cleveland, the veteran is Deshaun. Therefore, they rotate. They want Deshaun and Shedeur to compete this year. They're going to use that $60 million. And I bet it's going to be a veteran quarterback or 2 in there so they can have 4 quarterbacks or 5, like last year, to rotate. And the fact that Tony Grossi keeps saying Huntley need to come back, and he's black, and Kyler Murray is available, Anthony Richardson is available, Malik Willis is available, they keep suggesting only black quarterbacks to come to Cleveland. It should tell you that they're devaluing whoever they send to Cleveland, Shedeur included. And they just pit them against each other. It's like, you know what? The 5 of y'all just go. We don't want none of y'all no way. So y'all just go over there and play in the sand together, and y'all do get out. But the goal is only to win. How many games? 2 more than last year. Let's see if I'm right. How many games did they win last year? 5? Let's see. How many games did the Browns win? I'm just happy we get to see Shedeur play. What did I say last year? Just come in, don't want nothing, and just stay safe. That's all. And what did we say? We just wanted him to stay safe because we knew that they had the propensity to get him injured. So, and we watched him. We watched him tell the refs they was trying to get him injured. 500. It said the Browns were slightly above. Oh, hold on one second. In 2025. How many games did they win? All right. They won. The over-under win total last year was 4.5 to 5.5 wins. Projections for the 2025 season range from the low-end forecast of 4 wins to slightly higher expectations around 6, with some analysts placing the team as having one of the lowest projected totals in the league. And why is that? Because the Browns didn't want to win. The Browns didn't want to win last year. They don't want to win this year. They finished the team with a 5-12 record. So they were right in the middle between 4.5 and 5.5. So what that tells you is they've already been projected to win 6 games. I said they're going to do 2 better than last year, so 7. That's what they're going to do. They already showed you they could turn it on, they could turn it off, right? They don't want Shedeur to get out here and ball out unless Monken is a boss and went to Haslam and say, look, we can win this year with Shedeur and you can trade him next year and you can get the Manning key and you can win again next year. Now, if he did that, then I would think the prediction for Shedeur to ball out would be winning 11 games. I would just say, or more than that. But the fact that they have such low expectations is because that's the strategy of the ball club. So you got to be able to read between the lines. If we're talking about Shedeur Sanders, who could put up 393 yards while being handcuffed by Kevin Stefanski on the field, nail ripped off and everything. If he can do all of that, he can win the majority of the games and take them to the playoffs because he already had them in the playoff hunt. So for Vegas to come out and say without knowing who the quarterback is, that they're going to only win 6 games, and last year they predicted 4.5 to 5.5, and they only won 5, they're telling you what the plan is. They're telling you what the plan is. I say 7. I say 7. Now, things could happen because, we say man plans and God laughs, and Shedeur can get away with something. But in order for that to happen, Shedeur going to have to do what I said Lamar going to have to do to get to the Super Bowl. And I said this last year, call an audible, because the plays that they call and the personnel that they use is designed to hold back Shedeur, designed to hold back Lamar. So at this point, we need to just be happy that he's unofficially QB1, and we will get to see him play a number of games because they do not want Deshaun to get out there and ball out either. So I could see them rotating both of them along with a third and a fourth person so that none of them play 10 games or more. They've been doing that for the last few years. They haven't changed their strategy. So let's see if Monken can add something to the table like, hey, what about instead of just losing and losing and losing, why don't we win this year with Shedeur and you just trade him next year and start with the Manning kid? We can do both. Why not? Why does it have to be either or? Because the goal is to stick it to Shedeur. Now, I don't know if Monken got enough juice to get them to stop sticking it to Shedeur. Apparently, nobody in the NFL does. So good luck with that. So Shedeur just got to be happy and stay safe again and ball out when you can, because they can turn it off and they can turn it on. And if they turn it off for you, they're going to expect something from you. So just keep being you and just go out there and see what God does. See what God has already done in your favor. Let's just see that. And as a message to the community, that's our message that's my message to the community. We're going to see what God has done already. See, God already know how this is going to work out. So we're going to see what God has done. Pray that Shedeur is safe, because we know what to look for. And he knows what to look for. And that's a blessing, because that's what's going to keep him safe. Now, remember, Jerry Jeudy over there working out with Shedeur. And remember when Jerry Jeudy would set Shedeur up, he would run over to the bench when Shedeur was on the bench and come sit up underneath him like he was a kid and Shedeur was his best friend. But he was stabbing him in the back at the same exact time. So could what this picture is on the screen be more of the same? Yes. Unless Jeudy has had some kind of epiphany or his heart was convicted, this is no different than Jerry Jeudy going to sit up on the Shedeur on the bench and failing him on the field, trying to get in his mind and make him think you can trust me, but I'm going to set you up again. That's what it's given to me. You can't trust that. It said, like Miss Pam said, Gino going to the Jets. Okay, to the Jets. Okay, so to the Jets. Who over them? They said Justin Fields could come to Cleveland. Okay, they don't want the head coach to win anyway, so it makes sense. I like the head coach, but he was going to quit. Did y'all know Aaron Glenn was going to resign from the job? He said he didn't see a way that the Jets could win, AKA, I know y'all trying to set me up. So ain't no point in me doing this and y'all ruining it for me. I'd rather walk away from this job and try to get another one somewhere else in a year rather than go on the record for being trash and let y'all trash me. So I guess maybe they convinced him to stay. So I can see Geno Smith being sent to the Jets because they don't want Aaron Glenn to be successful. So it makes sense. It makes sense. It's that Arch Manning probably going to New Orleans. He's definitely not coming to the Browns. Arch Manning not going to New Orleans because Tyler Shaw, who probably gonna win whatever division he is. Isn't he in the same division? Of course he is. Tampa Bay, the Saints, and Carolina, whatever that is. They the same division, right? So is Stefanski gonna win in year one? He probably need to save that team. Or is Stefanski gonna make way for Tyler Shaw? Because it ain't gonna be Tampa, and it's not gonna be the Carolina Panthers. It's either the Falcons or the Saints. And based off what I've seen, Stefanski was not sent anywhere to win. He was sent to destroy. So it's gonna be the Saints. And Arch Manning is not going to New Orleans. Going to the Browns. Unless they trade Tyler Shaw to the Browns. And I doubt it. People don't know, but the dominoes are already lined up for Arch Manning to come to the Browns. People think that Monken recruited Shedeur out of high school. No, Monken successfully recruited Arch Manning. Hence, Monken in Cleveland. Because he going to bring him. He probably already texted him. See you next year, buddy. Yep. So for people that see, when people look at the Arch Manning New Orleans connection, it's because of his grandfather. But what they don't understand is the Peyton Manning aspect of his involvement with the Browns. Or they already got their people where they want them. They got Jackson Dart in New York. Unless Jackson Dart coming to Cleveland, because I think they about fit to be tired of him up there. And they got Tyler Shaw in New Orleans. They're going to have Arch Manning with the Browns. And I don't know who went to the Manning Passing Academy this year, but one of them that's coming out is going to be wherever they want him to be. Because they put Dylan in a position to be drafted third. Yep. They put their people from the Manning Passing Academy where they want, and that's a direct affront to select QB quarterbacks. Pay attention. Select QB had Shedeur, and they had Cam, and they're like, I'll be damned if both of his quarterbacks come out first and second, and mine come out third and last. Tyler Shaw. Yep. So that's that aspect of that too, right? Select QB is doing a mighty fine job. And his quarterbacks keep coming in at the top. They don't want that. They don't want that at all. But the dominoes are already laid for the Manning kids to come to Cleveland. Just pay attention during the college football season to see if the Cleveland station up there in Cleveland, the Browns, whatever that station is, ESPN Cleveland, if they start tracking the Manning kid like they did last year, saying he was going to win the Heisman from week one. They're already trying to give him the Heisman right now. It says, since Tomlin left, watch how sorry the Steelers will be. I have a feeling that's the case too. Tomlin told some of his best people to get the hell out of there. Geno Smith came to the Raiders because he played well for Pete Carroll in Seattle. And Carroll, as a new head coach, wanted him to play for him on the Raiders. So why was he so trash? I feel you, but why was he so trash? Because he wasn't supposed to stay there. He was just supposed to block Shadeur. Is Pete Carroll gone? Is he still the coach, or did they fire him too? So they got both of them in and out. In to block and out. I just needed you to block, both of y'all. If I brought in Pete Carroll, he going to bring in Geno. Remember, Minnesota had Sam Darnold, J.J. McCarthy, and Daniel Jones. They spread them quarterbacks out. Daniel Jones took Anthony Richardson's job. Sam Darnold took Geno Smith's job. Geno Smith went to Vegas to block Shedeur. Bringing in Pete Carroll assured that would be the move, but I needed Geno Smith to move so I could put Sam Darnold over there and get him out of Minnesota, because I wasn't putting Sam Darnold behind J.J. McCarthy. And as you heard me say, they gave J.J. McCarthy the keys to the goddamn team. So Minnesota pushed out Sam Darnold to keep J.J. McCarthy and pushed out Daniel Jones to keep J.J. McCarthy. Now they're moving off of J.J. McCarthy to block. He was just there to block. There's no justification for drafting a quarterback in the first round if you already have a starting quarterback that is viable. That was Derek Carr, Geno Smith, JJ McCarthy. Yeah, they all were blocking. Aaron Rodgers, they were all blocking. Willis is going to the Cardinals. Oh Lord, poor kid. All right, they say the Cardinals is a screw up franchise. It's that Aaron Rodgers will play games. Will play games about retiring. Okay, Voltage, because did he do that last year? You might be on to something. It's that QB from Ole Miss gonna steal all of the Arch Manning shine, and that brings us back to Trinidad Shamblers and the goddamn NCAA attacking this kid. Just in case you don't know, the damn NCAA submitted a 650-page document whining about why it is a judge in Mississippi should not let Trinidad Shamblers play his 6th year, and they want to overturn the injunction after a judge said he could play a 6th year. How it would do irreparable harm to the NCAA, which is absolute bullshit. Instead, kicking that kid out of college football will do irreparable harm to all of his teammates, to his whole damn football team, to the coaching staff and everybody that made all kind of concessions to stay with Ole Miss. This is an attack on Ole Miss because they expected to win it all because of Trinidad Shamblers. Most people will not believe me when I say that the only reason Lane Kiffin was sent over to LSU was to disrupt Ole Miss so that Trinidad Shamblers and them would not get as far as they did in the Natty. So this year, they tried to do a double dagger and kick the kid out of school altogether so Ole Miss will just belly flop. His ace player, his Travis Hunter, turned down money to stay at Ole Miss to play with him. And now they want to kick him out of school, messing it up for his Travis Hunter. I'm like, this ain't got shit to do with the NCAA. This is the goddamn NFL and college football and the Heisman Committee trying to kick Trinidad out of school because he's the story. I have never seen such a fight to the death to hold back one kid. Oh, wait, Shedeur. That's why I call him Trinidad Shedeur Sanders Shamblers, because they doing to him what they did to Shedeur, trying to make sure that they don't have a good year. It's the same thing. That's why Lane Kiffin is over there at LSU, because they thought moving him out the way would make sure that they failed in the playoffs. That's why when he left, things got so nasty, because they trying to kill the life out of Ole Miss just because Lane Kiffin gone. Then I started paying attention. I said, this is about Trinidad. The other kid, Austin, he ended up leaving because they had 2 black quarterbacks. And I said before the season, I want to see how this goes. Because last year they had Jackson Dart. And a year before they had Jackson Dart. And y'all saw, I said, I want to see if some people in the NFL going to work their connections to get Trinidad drafted in the first round, top 3. Like they, brought in Jackson Dart and had him sneak into the first round. Tyler Shaw had him to come up to the first round. Nope. They trying to destroy that kid in college. So now everybody says, do you know how cruel it would be to kick him out of school now that the NFL combine is over? It looks like the NCAA waited until a few days after the combine was over to produce a 650-page document, which is supposed to be intimidating, to force the court to overturn the injunction in the state of Mississippi. If we thought what happened to Shedeur was nasty, I think this might actually be worse. Let's see what happened. People feel the evidence is in favor of Trinidad because they gave Diego Pavia 7 years. And I wondered if that's why. I felt like Diego came out of college because he saw the runway was clear. When Dante went back, all them other kids decided not to come out. He was like, shit, I'm finna come out. But then when I realized that they gave him a 7th year and Trinidad was denied a 6th, I said, I wonder if they told him, just come on out, because that's precedence. And people are saying the evidence is overwhelmingly in Trinidad's favor. Therefore, and since this is the Mississippi State Court and Ole Miss is in Mississippi, the NCAA should lose this fight. And I said, if the NCAA decides to come back and appeal this, they should be forced to explain why they are, it appears that they are targeting one player. And you need to be forced to explain yourself. Just like the Browns need to be forced to explain themselves. And it's for the same reason, to move Shedeur and with the Browns and Trinidad coming number one out of college out of the way to clear the path, the runway for Arch Manning. They're ruining 2 quarterbacks or more, but 2 for sure that I can name, all to make way for Arch Manning. Like, he's the Emperor's king and he is entitled to the Heisman. He's entitled to number 1 in college. He's entitled to number 1 overall. He's entitled to the Cleveland Browns starting job. They acted like he's entitled. This is not him. These are people that are using him against these black quarterbacks. Shedeur and Trinidad Shamblers. It said Coach Prime said he may change it. What you mean? It said that was Kevin doing. Kevin Stefanski. It said number 2 is legendary. Believe it. No, we definitely believe that. Keep 12, make it legendary. All right, y'all think he should keep it. Kenya said jersey sales. So if they change it to the number 2, that would spur on jersey sales. And Shadeur is not selfish, but it would benefit him financially as well. But he wouldn't do that. He would just keep the 12. But he should get his 2. It's that he might get 2. He might get 2 back. He got to get back to himself. Okay. I like that. Keep 12 in Cleveland. If he gets traded, go back to the 2. Okay. So the legacy in Cleveland is keep the 12. But if you get traded, say to Vegas or another team, get the 2. Okay. I like it. I like that. What y'all think about that? I like that. It said, now Dart is a crash out waiting to happen. Too many concussions. That's what I'm saying. I think they fit to be tired with him. It said he talking about Anthony Richardson, not Aaron Rodgers. Anthony Richardson going to New York. No, Anthony Richardson going to Minnesota. Oh, when y'all say AR, were you talking about Anthony Richardson going to Minnesota, or were you talking about Aaron Rodgers? Let me know. They don't like Anthony Richardson. He needs to sue them just like Justin Fields. They both just got drafted, like really about a year or 2 ago. What is it, 26? So what, 23, 24? Justin Fields was the year before Caleb. That's 23. Anthony Richardson was 24, I think. And you see how they're trying to dead their careers? Hey, I think let number 2 be his college football legendary and 12 be his NFL. Okay, DW. I like that. Hands down, this is the Fly Show. Thank you so much. It said Cleveland Browns is building their offensive line for Shedeur to shine. It said they probably draft the Georgia offensive lineman and then draft the receiver Tate. Okay, so you think they're going to get a lineman from Georgia? What's his name? Drop his name in the chat. And then Cornell Tate. The only thing about Cornell Tate is 2 things. One of them should let you know is melanin. And the other one is they've never drafted a wide receiver since 2016 in the first round. Just like they never drafted a black quarterback, period. So these are things that they don't do. But let's see if they do it, right? I told you who Arch Manning's wide receiver is, right? Isaiah Bond from Texas. They already got one of his receivers. What's the other one named that's supposed to be coming out? Is there a receiver coming out from Texas this year? Let's see. Wide receivers from Texas in the combine. Declared for the 26 draft. 2026 draft. Let's see who it is. I said Texas, and they gave me Texas A&M. Ha ha. University of Texas. All right. University of Texas. Okay, declared for the 2026 draft. Let's see who we got, y'all. It said as of 2026, Texas wide receiver DeAndre Moore Jr. was reported to be entering the 2026 draft after 2 seasons with the team. I thought he played for Colorado now. It said other key Texas players who declared early include linebacker Anthony Hill Jr., cornerback Malik Muhammad, and tight end Jack Andrews. It said DeAndre Moore Jr. reports indicated he would declare. I think he went to Colorado. Ryan Wingo, that's that kid right there. confirmed for his 2026 return to UT, keeping an explosive offense. All right. So this kid right here, Wingo, Ryan Wingo, look for him next year. I think look for him next year. Wide receiver. Either next year, is he a sophomore? Look for him next year. Look for him. That pay attention to that kid this year. I'll be keeping one of my eyes on Texas just to kind of see what's going on. But I want you to look for Ryan Wingo next year. But this year, when Shedeur was drafted, see, I look at this. Shedeur was drafted in 25, and Isaiah Bond was supposed to be drafted in 25, but he got devalued because he got, according to him, falsely arrested 2 weeks before the draft, which is a trend that's starting to be very noticeable for Black athletes coming to the NFL. And both got devalued, Shedeur and Isaiah Bond. And I pointed out that Isaiah Bond was a go-to receiver for Arch Manning at Texas. I pointed out that in 25, when they got Bond, devalued or not, they knew at the time when they got Bond that the Manning kid was coming behind him in 26, which means all of the time that they was meeting with Shedeur, they had their eye on Bond, knowing that they were getting him for next year when Arch Manning came in, but Arch Manning decided to wait. So they already got his receiver. Wingo is another one of his receivers, right? And they'll be closer to come out together. Now, the part that stuck out to me about Isaiah Bond's contract, because they got him devalued and not in the draft, but after the draft because of the situation. And he only got a 2-year contract. So he got what I say they do with these people is give them a year to prove if you're going to do what we need you to do. I don't need you to be Superman for Shedeur. I need you to be Superman in 2027. That's when his contract is up. And if he agrees to be Superman, he gets a new contract in 2 years rather than in 4 years like Shedeur. So being devalued actually worked in his favor. He didn't get the money up front, but he also didn't get tied to a rookie contract for 4 years. So if he performs, if there's something they want him to do, he'll get that fat contract in 2 years, unlike the rest of the rookies that got to wait in 4. So what looks to be a bad thing actually could be a tool. Pay attention. Isaiah Bond, let's see how he do this year. Because if you ask me, he wanted it. He wanted it, but there were times it was a little, I don't know about that. Like there was this one pass, he didn't even look backwards. I'm like, so was you not trying to get the ball? Let's see what happens. It's a lot of snakes over there. Shedeur gonna need to cut the grass over there. Shedeur gonna need to cut the grass. All right, y'all, we're gonna get ready to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. This is excellent conversation. We can continue the conversation tomorrow. We'll be talking about the Browns for sure. It said Tua, a left-handed QB, is going to the Falcons as QB1. Oh, Jesus. Stefanski will then bring in left-handed Dylan Gabriel to be QB2. So they just going to sit on Michael Penix Jr. because where the hell is he going? Where is Michael Penix Jr. going if they bringing in Dylan and Tua? Let me know, Roger. That's a good. I'm going to save that one because that's interesting. Matter of fact, let me screenshot it so we can come back to it. Interesting. I guess we need to start tracking some current QB movement, huh? To kind of see where these people going to end up, what we think. I never thought about Tua going to the Falcons, but I do know Stefanski is going to get another quarterback. And people think Dylan is going over there. They had 4 quarterbacks last year. They had Emory Hunt, I think. No, Emory somebody, and Kirk Cousins, he's gone, right? Kirk Cousins is gone. And Michael Penix Jr., that's 3. So if Kirk Cousins is gone, then here comes Dylan. Dylan comes in, that's 2. Michael Penix Jr., Dylan, that's 2. And Emory, I don't know what they're going to do with him. They're probably going to get 2 more people. Let's see if Stefanski run his famous fake competition over there. It said Njoku contract was up and he decided he didn't want to come back. You think he decided that or it got decided for him? Let me know, Jay. It says Shedeur should keep the 12. Okay. Who is that, Miss Pamela? Okay, you think he should keep it? like the idea of him keeping a 12 in Cleveland, but then I kind of want him to get his number. But I kind of, because see the way Cleveland does business, it might be best to just keep that 12 and get the 2 when he moves on. So I kind of like that. Keep 12 is legendary. I don't mind Huntley. He a great backup. Let Huntley live where he is in Baltimore. He actually had a chance to play and not be used by Stefanski, because we saw how Stefanski used Huntley. Stefanski used Huntley to take Shedeur out the 2-minute drill against the Rams and cut Huntley the next morning before lunch, pitting them against each other. Keep 12 is legendary. Huntley is happy being away from Cleveland. Facts. Leave that man where he is. Ramon said sorry, but Huntley is not coming back to Cleveland. Thankfully. Why not? Because Cleveland is trash. Trash when it comes to black quarterbacks. No, they did Huntley dirty for 2 years in a row. And they don't trade him. They cut him, and he got to find his way. No, Cleveland is too toxic. No, especially when it comes to black quarterbacks. No, absolutely not. I see 7 victories next season with the slick stuff. Yeah, me too. I mean, Shadeur's capabilities, he can take them all the way. But the owner's still over there, and Monken signed up to work with the owner's agenda. So, and the owners that took Shedeur off the board still plotting. That includes Haslam. So I'm going to go with 7 because they don't want to win. They just want to get past this year and not be a PR nightmare again. So, yep, 7. Maybe 8. 7, maybe 8. It's that Huntley knows his worth, and Baltimore does too. I agree. Let's see what Baltimore does in free agency. Let's see what they do. I am very late, family. That's okay, Crowley. And thank you for sending me to the game. Thank you. I got your Cash App. I appreciate it. I already bought the ticket. It said, Nola Queen, did you get my Cash App? Yes, I did. Yes, I thanked you, and you weren't even here. So I'll be live streaming the game. Thank you, Crowley, for sending me. It's not too late for the rest of y'all to send me Cash App, $ what she said sports. $1 is fine. You Cash App $1. It'll be just fine. I can buy some cotton candy with it while I'm live streaming. All right. So shout out to Crowley. Y'all thank her. She's sponsoring the live stream on Magic City Monday. If y'all want to sponsor it too, co-sponsor it. Cash App me $1, $5, $10, or whatever you feeling. And what she said sports, $, Cash App. All right. Same name as the channel. I'm going to get out of here and go enjoy my family. I'll see y'all later. This was excellent conversation. Let's continue it in the chat. And I'll see y'all back same place, same time tomorrow night, 10:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to know what's going on with the war and what's going on in Dubai, go check out my Dubai land, air, and sea report from today. I've done one every day this week, so just go check it out. See y'all later. And members, I'll catch y'all on the backside. Thank you. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports.